All right, everybody. So thank you for joining us today. Today's goal is to show you what is possible to create when you're in a coaching program that is catered to LGBTQ people, and it's meant to allow you and empower you to create a life you maybe never even expected you could. And that is both in fitness, kind of way of being. So with workouts and diet and really taking care of your body. And at the same time, really going deeper into the mindset, into how we think, into how we build ourselves, perceive the world, and kind of like put a threshold to what does it mean for me to be thriving as an LGBTQ person. And today we have Rosa here that I invited to join us and have this client success interview because we've been working for 6 months together approximately. And the changes he experienced in the program have been astonishing to me as well. I've been doing this work for 6 years. I've been working with more than 500 people. And what Rosa achieved in such a short time, I think was worth showing you so that if anything in this video, anything in this interview resonates, you can recognize some things that Rosa talks about or the way she explained things, and you would like to have the same results or start a similar journey, you can then go in the description below and apply to work with us, also create that life that you're desiring to live. So Rosa, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time today and being here with us. First of all, can you just give us a little bit of introduction, who you are, where you live, how old you are, so we know a little bit more about you and people can relate to you.
My name is Rosa. I'm 27. I'm a queer woman and I live in Copenhagen with my daughter and most of the time also my partner. I study right now my master's in social science. Basically, I think
Yeah,
what I do.
that's it. That's awesome. And thank you for sharing that. And of course, this is also just to show people that I get sometimes we think, oh, there is so much I got to do. I have my job, or I have multiple jobs, or I have my job and I also study on the side, or I have a business. My focus has to be on that. Or I have kids. I have kids, you have kids. So we know that it's a full-time job in itself. And we always tend to put ourselves in the backseat and not take our own well-being seriously. And this was actually one of the things that you came with me to me with. That was, I can see that I put my daughter, of course, as it should be, first, and I can see that I kind of like let myself go in some areas, and there is some areas of my life that I want to get better at, to be there for her as well, and to be there for other people as well, but also to reestablish the self-trust that I can also build a body, my health, my well-being, and really skyrocket my health, my wealth, my happiness, right? Which is what we're trying to do here. So can you tell us a little bit like what were the biggest problems that you had and that you faced before joining the program that actually were so painful that you're like, I cannot live like this anymore. Something has to change.
Yeah, when I reached out to you, I've been living alone with my daughter for would say a year and a half since my divorce. I was struggling a lot with the different things, but mostly I was just exhausted, to be honest. That was kind of my when I reached out to you, that's what I wanted, like to work on my energy levels because I was not really functioning. It's more like, yeah, I would say that I was surviving. I had a lot of issues with like pain in my body. I used a lot of painkillers. I have a back injury, so it's kind of like, yeah, I was used to just taking a lot of painkillers. At the time, I needed help to get stronger. Yeah, my daily routines, to be honest, also.
So I remember even in our first conversation, there was this desire of, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm very tired. I have all these things to do. I have a kid I need to take care of. I'm just out of a divorce. Like I'm still kind of working on that emotional side as well. And I can see
Mm.
that I've been functioning with a narrative with who I am here. And now I kind of need to rebuild my relationship, even with myself and me as a parent, me as a person in a way.
Mhm.
And I can definitely recognize that when we have kids or a job that requires a lot of us, we kind of don't even realize we have time, or we should really just take a
Mhm.
moment in the day, even if it's 5, 10 minutes, to really focus on who are we, what do we want, where is my life going, what is the goals that I have. And a lot
mm,
of people struggle with imagining that future or creating the compelling vision of the future. So
mm,
setting goals for us, specifically for me and you, has always been getting back to an energy level and life energy
mm,
that sustains you, your family, your loved ones, that
mm,
skyrockets your studies, that makes you present in all these different kind of personas you are, and at the
mm,
same time get rid of the pain using less medication, less painkillers, and also settling down like with certain daily routines that could support you. So where from eating to working
mm,
out and being active, more active, also sleep routines, and overall
mm,
just well-being, self-care. And we know
mm,
that it's something that is easy to do and it's easy not to do. That's why most people struggle with it, because the information is out there. You all know, everybody watching here knows how to get there, most likely. Even there's a lot of information, there is a lot of knowledge out there. The problem is not information, the problem is implementation, is having the accountability, having a coach, a community that really each week, week by week, supports you, saying, what are the goals that you're setting yourself for this week? Even if they're very small, especially if they're small, and how can I keep consistent doing it for months so that I can actually see the result that I'm hoping for? Based on this, what was the first thing that attracted you to this program specifically and to me as a coach? And I don't take it for granted, and I don't take it lightly that people trust me and invest in me. And when people invest in me, I invest in you as well. I cannot work with everybody that asks to work with me, and I kind of pick and choose who's the best candidates, because I need to guarantee those results, and I need to make sure that the person fits the community that we have. So why did you choose to join us
mm,
compared to instead choosing someone else, another community, another coaching, or even just a different kind of therapy or a psychologist or something like that?
For me, there's several things, but one of the things was that my partner is a client with you, and of course, we've been talking a lot about the work that you do together. And even though it's completely different from me and my journey, of course, that was inspiring for me to see some of the ways that he was able to shift his mindset and work on himself. The reason why it was you and not some other mindset fitness coach was definitely because of the focus on the mindset. Because I knew, as someone who had an eating disorder in my teens, that this could be dangerous, like for me to go into something with someone who didn't understand like what that meant. And that for me it was not just about, okay, I'm gonna get my summer body or whatever, right? And also this thing about how you are just like sharing a lot about your journey, and you being queer, and also having had to deal with mental illnesses and all that. It made me like feel safe that this was a space where you kind of knew what you were doing, and had some personal experience that you wanted to share with me also.
It's definitely like a big part of my journey, needs to be shared, because I need to kind of help everybody where they are, but it's based on my experience, of course. Like I always teach not the how to, because
Mm,
I'm not God. I don't pretend or like try to tell everybody I know everything, but I always
mm,
explain how I. And if my story resonates with the right people, then I know you're the right
mm,
person. Then if you see yourself or parts of you in me, or you have similar ambitions, or you have a similar background, then that is going to match. And then that's what propels the relationship. Because my relationship with the client, also with you, Rose, I didn't start the day we signed the contract, you sent the payment, and we then started the coaching sessions, or you got introduced to the community, or you came to the group calls. That's part of the game. But our relationship started when, in the DMs, in the first messages we sent to each other, I needed to see you for who you were. And I'm very glad that you kind of like saw that, okay, this is going to be a safe space, because that's a very big priority for me, to create safe space for the people that I bring in. That's why I pick and choose the right people. That is what is going to allow us to do the best work, because when you feel safe and you can be vulnerable, then you open up, and we actually can understand what's lying in the subconscious programming, what narrative are you using, what kind of language are you using, how you're seeing yourself, that needs to shift in order for you to get to that next level. And also I really appreciate you sharing that For some people, it might be dangerous to go in some environments where you just get a message from time to time or an email, or it's just here's a workout plan, here's a diet plan, do that, because there is no holistic approach. People don't see you for, oh, you also struggle with the eating disorder. So maybe we don't track calories, maybe we don't have a diet plan, but it has to be a completely different approach that fits you to be giving you fast results, but built to last, right? It's sustainable and
Mm,
balanced. So as
mm.
a result of the work we've been doing together, Rosa, what has been the outcome? And how has this work changed your life in the past few months? And how do you see this work impacting you the most?
One of the big breakthroughs in the beginning of our work was for me to kind of work with my fear of getting better, like in life in general, kind of realizing that this eating disorder, for example, that I knew that I struggled with as a teen, it was actually kind of still going, just in a different way. But like when because we never you never gave me a diet plan, or I never tracked calories or anything. But the fact that that we had to talk about, like, okay, so what do I eat now, and do the training routine schedules, I realized, like, I'm so afraid that if I start eating, then everything will just fall apart. I think that it was very, very fast that I kind of skipped this whole anxiety of, like, what will happen if I start to eat, because I felt safe that, okay, if something goes wrong, and that would be, oh no, what if I suddenly start gaining a lot of weight, and then feel terrible about myself. I felt like, okay, there's someone here to catch me, so it's fine. Like, me, just let me, like, try to see what will happen, just to experiment if I start to eat. And what happened was that I actually could go to the gym, and, like, really go to the gym, and do my best, because I was eating enough. A huge thing in the beginning, to see what changes it made, that I fed myself real food. Other results that were huge to me was that I got off my medication. I took medication for my anxiety for 6 or 7 years.
That's the power of like having a
Mm,
community and having the support. That is part of the smash approach that we use in the program. Is first of all, we need systems. So we need to understand what works best for you, what can you
mm,
hold sustainable, what is important to you
mm,
as a person. So systems, whether it's workout plans, whether it's diet, weight, nutrition planning, or
mm,
whatever fits you and your personality, your lifestyle, your person. And then we have, and that's for mindset, right? So working on truly
mm,
understanding what is the subconscious beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the
mm,
narratives, the self-talk that is actually maybe limiting us in reaching what we say we want, but we still don't haven't seen results for years, or we're still kind of like going on a roller coaster that we reach something, we lose it, we reach something, we lose it, which is what most people are struggling with nowadays, also to hold focus and all that. So actually going in, and what we've done
mm,
with you is, like you said, it was a very, very fast shift. Because again, if you
mm,
work on the right thing and you see in depth what is the root cause and not just the symptoms, but you see and go and work on the root cause through coaching, you dismantle that. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's just a memory and you can use it as experience, but then you build something different, new, that propels you in the future.
mm,
So that's why it was fast, because we haven't worked on the symptoms as you might
mm,
do at the doctor or a psychologist or something. Like you gotta
mm,
like grab whatever comes at the surface, but really going deeper and seeing how things connect deeper
mm,
within you. And number two is, just having rebuilding the self-trust, because some of like the eating disorders and some of those thoughts about even just how you saw fitness, what you expected this plan to be or diet to do for you or with you or to you, was still a lingering feeling, a lingering narrative from the past, right? So we needed to rebuild a self-image, a deeper self-image of self-trust and empowerment that allowed you to then create what you have today. And
mm,
I remember that you shared with me that your daughter started saying that you're a strong mom.
mm,
And that is not even something that resonated with you before, because you never saw yourself as strong. So
mm,
just going from I'm a weak person, or I'm sick, or I struggle with
mm,
mental illness, or all this thing, to actually say, like, going to the gym is a tool, right? But then
mm,
seeing, focusing on not what the body looks like, but what your body can. seeing how much you
mm,
progress at the gym, how much confidence you were scared to go to the gym and you were feeling judged and feeling people were looking at you and that wasn't the right place for you, to then owning that space and just going work out and actually prioritizing in your daily or weekly routine,
mm,
than to hear your daughter say that. So you're also giving that example to your daughter. Like the mind-blowing experience for us and for me has been that we really, through the work both on the body and the mind and the habits, we really stopped, the medication, like painkillers,
mm,
stopping a medication after 7 years and being able to just be at peace with it and kind of creating this narrative again of self-trust is incredible. And again, we've only been working together for a few months, and that's incredible. So thank you so much for sharing that and being also open here. You know how proud I am of you and all the work. So where do you think you would be right now if you didn't join? If you kind of like postpone it, or you were like, this is too expensive, or I'm too scared of doing it. I'm not gonna do it now, or I'm gotta wait. What do you think would have happened?
It's tough for me to imagine, to be honest, not to have been this journey, because there's so much of like my everyday routine, my life now. It's like also a result of some of the work that we've done. I think I think I just would be still kind of skinny and tired, still kind of holding on to these beliefs about I can't do this because I have a back injury and I've suffered from anxiety, and kind of feeling very comfortable in this story about myself as someone kind of that to feel a little bit sorry for myself. Before this program, I was very comfortable in this story about this was too difficult. Someone like me could not do this. Someone like me could not have a workout routine, and didn't have the opportunity to prioritize my sleep and my foods and my relationship for that matter. Like really kind of shifted my perspective about myself during these few months. Also, as you mentioned, my daughter even looks at me differently, which is insane. I can remember that I took this picture about myself. I've taken one before, like 4 months, 5 months before then. I just look completely different, and it's not really about how like this. My arms looks exactly like this, or my thighs look like this, but it's like my face. It's just I could just really see how exhausted I was at the time. I'm grateful for myself that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this now.
Having that, probably someone that is watching these videos, like, that works for her or that works for all the people, but why should it work for me? And someone like me, that's like, it's like what you thought. It's like someone like me cannot achieve this. Someone like me couldn't or wouldn't. That's exactly how everybody feels before. You need to take the step that is bigger than what you currently believe you're capable of, because otherwise
Mm,
there is no way you're ever going to do anything. You need to be, you cannot be ready for it. Just like we think, oh, I'm ready to have a kids now. You're never going to be ready. Or I'm ready to, go open my business. You'll never feel ready, like 100% confident. It's a leap of faith, and it pays off because you invest in yourself, especially financially. It's also like we need to take that bigger leap, that bigger step, and really understand that is going to propel me to make me grow to that level. If I
mm,
invest in myself, like not only time and energy, but also money, who am I becoming? What am I showing myself? What kind of respect and ambition and self trust and empowerment do I give myself? Just doing that changes everything, because all of a
mm,
sudden you're a person that invests in themselves. All of a sudden you're a person that, takes a shot on themselves. That rewires things in the brain, especially if you're not used to do it anymore. And I think in our community, it's very, very rare that people have that. So that's also why I choose people where I see that fire. I know you want to change, and I know you are the right person to come in.
mm,
And the cool thing about how you look, it's also that's the cherry on top. Because again, we are focused on not having medication. We're focused on becoming even a more inspiring parent, like having your daughter seeing you differently. That's incredible. And then how you look, it's just a cherry on top. And you going from an eating disorder, our one of the first goals we had, we were so scared. Like, what if the scale is gonna show me this amount of kilos, and that freaks me out, and that I go back to past bad behaviors, and
mm,
that didn't happen. like we were able to work through the fear and through that mindset and then shift it completely, so that when you saw that weight on the scale and you were seeing how what your body was capable of doing and how different you looked just in your facial expression and your literally life vitality didn't matter anymore, because you're creating this compelling future that is just bigger than the story you're telling yourself or you've been telling yourself for many years, or maybe that even doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists have been telling about yourself, which yes, it was important at the time, but it's not what is going to bring you in the next level in your future. So thanks for sharing that. So if someone is watching this interview and is here with us and we're on the fence about joining, booking a call with me or joining this program or maybe even another program, I don't care if you work with me or apply for me, but any personal growth, bettering yourself kind of program, what would you tell them?
Might be a little bit cliche, but it's like if I can, you can. It's something I want to highlight about this program that I don't think we've been talking a lot about, is this community, these group calls. It's been such a game changer for me to see someone else, like to follow someone else's journey. And I've also made some great friendships, by the way. This feeling about, okay, we're like a small family, like, and I'm rooting for all of the other ones who's in this program, and I know that they are rooting for me. Something that's also very important, and could be a huge support for someone else who also feels a little bit like scared about, is this something for me, and is this, what if I don't fit in, and or don't really feel like this typical like fitness type or whatever. I think this is just like, I could just really recommend this because there are all kinds of people in this program. I think one of the most powerful things for me have been this shift from feeling like I'm not someone who can go to the gym, and I'm not someone who can do this and this and this. Has been like so easy for me to change the mindset, being a part of this community, because everyone else feel this way also. It's not, yeah, and hearing that, and reading people's weekly updates and all that really like reassures me that it's that kind of like a scam, that anyone really feels like, okay, I'm someone who can do this and this and this, and go to gym and eat healthy, and like do all these great things in life. Like, even the ones who do this and feel like this, they still have moments, a lot of moments probably, with the thoughts and feelings about, okay, I can't do this, and I don't want to go even.
The community is a fundamental part. That's why I focus this program a lot on community. And not everybody needs to be part of the community if they don't want to. They can still work with me one-on-one, be a lone wolf. There is many of them in the program. But to those that a community speaks to and they feel like, I don't have a queer or LGBTQ community that is intentional about health, about wealth, about happiness, about personal growth and bettering themselves, then that's why we created it. At the end of the day, we're struggling with perfectionism. We're struggling for all or nothing mentality. We're struggling with maybe mental illnesses or struggles of some kind, or we've been through a lot of trials and tribulations. We're very proud of where we are, but at the same time, we also are aiming for that next level. We know there's more to ourselves. We want more. Because now we reached the whatever normal we hoped we could reach, but we know there is a next level. So thank you so much for pointing that out, because I'm also very proud of the community and everybody in there. Everybody in there also makes me a better coach, a better person.
I think I use this program, like the things that I've gotten out of it, like on a daily basis, a lot. I really had to use some of the tools that I've been building up during this program, and I think having built this very different image about myself as someone who are capable of achieving these things.
People have all kinds of experiences. When you start working on the inner self, the outer self, the 3D reality that we live in starts to shift.
Mm,
Because again,
mm,
you see yourself as a different person. You go for it. You actually apply for the job. You actually can handle an interview. You have the anxiety, but you know how to manage it, and you actually
mm,
use it powerfully to show up like as your authentic self with no regrets. And that energy, that aura that you have about yourself is propelled out. So all of a sudden, the world and people respond to you a completely different way, right? And that is where like we have people that joined, and in literally like after months of not having a job, they joined, and after 2 weeks of doing what we teach, they landed a job, and now they're not homeless anymore, and they have a job. You were
mm,
wanting this job, you created an opportunity also thanks to the the community, by the way, because there's people in the community that helped you and pointed out, hey, there's this job, apply, we're friends now. So things
mm,
starts to shift when you put yourself in the right element, in the right vehicle. That is why a coaching community and having a coach and someone around you, and to elevate yourself. You're already a changed person before when starting the work, because you created opportunities that
mm,
you now can go and chase and actually create. So I'm
mm,
very, very happy for you to let's end on this happy note, because it's
mm,
differently like people getting into a relationship, people getting their dream job or finding a job or creating incredible things on the outside. That's also important for us as
mm,
people, as humans, right?
mm,
And it's not only getting, yes, of course we change the body. Yeah, people have dropped like 10 pounds in 2.5 weeks, like crazy things about their bodies. But then there's also the why we're doing it and what can we actually affect just by focusing on our body and health and our
mm,
mindset. This is
mm,
it, is like everything about your life has to change because you've
mm.
changed and how you see the world has changed. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for being with us, Rosa. I wish you all the best.
Thank you for being a part of this journey. It's been amazing.